What's up, boys and girls? This is Spit Logic, and today I want to talk about project management. Essentially, the songs that you create and how you manage the space that you have with all the data. So, for my experience, when it comes to projects, when it comes to the different songs on there, I have made projects or I've made a project, and with all of the different banks that you have, you can find yourself not really utilizing, not even, a very small percentage of a singular project. You can only save 16 projects on the Mark II. And within those 16 projects, you have all of the different banks in there, which can on their own act as a project itself, as music itself. So what do you do to manage that? So someone like me, I make music. I play with my Mark II every day. There's not been a single day where I have not played with my Mark II. And I've made a lot of songs. I've started a lot of songs, and I found myself kind of limited with just 16 projects. So I would go into a project that I started and just use a blank bank and then utilize that bank to create a new project or start on a new song. After a while, it became hard to kind of track what songs were in which project and where they were. So in my head, I designed a method for me to kind of deal with the eventual clutter that could come with kind of managing your projects. Okay, so I'm going to start off by opening up the SP44 Mark II app. And of course, it asks you to connect. And I'm going to click connect. I already have it plugged into my computer. And right now, the Mark II is in working mode or in edit mode, right? And the reason why it is because right now I have it in the project selection mode. So just to kind of go over how I manage the projects on my Mark II. You see it's 16 pads. That's for the 16 projects. And I look at it in terms of the 4 rows. So this first row, these are all projects that I am currently working on. I'm currently creating to develop in what I would consider a complete beat or a complete song. These next 2 rows are what I like to call the sandbox. And those are the ones where, I'll just pull down a sample and just play around, with samples to get just familiarization, really just playing with samples, making loops, making beats. Is not anything that I would consider like a complete song. So with these 2 rows, this is where I use all the different banks for different songs. They'll have different BPMs depending on which bank you're in. And it's just really something for me to experiment with and to have fun with. This last row is the row that I dedicate to projects that I've already created, complete songs that I've created. And if I want to go back and upload those songs, I would upload them in the bottom 4 banks. So this allows me, a means and a way of managing the projects on the Mark II itself. So one more thing that I've noticed in dealing with the Mark II, especially with the interaction between it on the computer and then using it on the Mark II, it has a very old operating system. And the old operating system is also consistent with an older file naming convention. So if you just look quickly on my computer and you see under my project names, I keep the names very simple and not a lot of symbols in them. This is a group of samples that I got, and I guess Mode Audio is the name of the person that made it. you look at this folder right here, and it has this this pound sign in the naming convention of the audio, right? So I'm gonna go to the Mark II real quick, and I have it on my SD card. So when I go to import from it and import the sample, I'm gonna go to this cassette loops. Even though I can hear it by pushing subpad. Right, you can hear it by pushing subpad. When I go to upload it onto pad 1, it says unsupported file, even though I just listened to the audio itself. The reason for that is because the naming convention. And for a while, I was like, what's going on? What's wrong with the actual file itself if I can listen to it, but I can't upload it? So my workaround around that, if it's a file, either you can do one of two things. You can either change the name of the digital file, or using the Mark II app, all you have to do is just drag it on here, and it will upload and convert it despite whatever the naming convention is. The reason for that is, my guess is that the Mark II is being simulated by this Mark II app. This Mark II app is actually the current operating system for your Mark II at the time, which means that those naming conventions that have those weird symbols and things like that, you are able to upload those onto your Mark II. That's going to conclude for this session. This should be a pretty short video, shorter than my usual videos. Again, I thank you for the listen. I thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate it. And until next time, peace.